How's it going, fellow duelists? This is Sword for you. Today I'm looking at the rankings for the KC Cup and I'm going to do a kind of a prediction for the current ban list. So you can see here the top 12. We got a Varus, we got Lulu, we got a few playmakers, another Lulu, a Ghost Girl, Bakura, another Varus, another Lulu, and two more Ghost Girls. So I'm thinking most likely the Varus player at the top here, number one, is more than likely, really, playing Borrowlink. That's pretty obvious. If he's not playing Borrowlink, it could be Sky Strikers. Lulu is most likely on Lyrilusk, of course. Playmaker, though, is the wild card here that I think is really interesting. I did not expect to see Dark Fluid as a top contender, with Lyrilusk being out especially, and its ability to attack directly and attack over stuff. Not to mention all the other crazy things that Lyrilusk can do, such as Outlet You Bell. But despite that, we only have three Lulu tops. We have one at number 2, one at 6, and one at 10. The Bakura is interesting here at number 8. He could be playing damn near anything. I'm going to go ahead and place my bet that it's a Live Twins deck, but we're not going to discuss that too much because I highly doubt that whatever he played will even get touched. He's probably just really good with Live Twins or something. If anyone knows who what number 8 was playing, you can comment or however you want to do. But yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look. I first want to take a look at Dark Fluid because obviously the deck did really good, assuming that those playmakers were indeed playing Dark Fluid. So we're on DLM here. We got the Dark Fluid deck. So this is a KC Cup Max version right here. Obviously playing the firewalls, as I've seen most of these decks do. This is Mayano Kazinki. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. This is Ruffian. This is a more 30-card build. This is what I'm used to seeing right here whenever you go up against a Playmaker deck, a Dark Fluid build. So I really don't see where there's a lot of stuff here in this deck that could be hit. Because if you take a look at the deck, and even the one prior, these decks do not run anything limited. There's not a single limited card on here, not 3s, 2s, or 1s. Nothing is limited. So Konami would have to hit the deck fairly hard in order to make it, even be noticeable that it got hit. And the only thing that I can really think of that might actually hurt the deck would be if you took DDR and Dimension Distortion and put them both at limit 3, forcing consistency down some. Because then you're forced to run 2 of one of the other, or 3 of one or the other, etc. So on top of that, the only other card I could really predict getting hit here in this in Playmaker's deck with Dark Fluid might be Melody of Awakening Dragon. This would hit not only the Playmaker deck, the Dark Fluid deck, but it would also hit Rockets or Borrowlink if you prefer, and Blue Eyes inadvertently. I don't really think Blue Eyes deserves to get hit, so make of that what you will. But I could definitely see Melody of Awakening Dragon getting hit, if only for Dark Fluid and Borrowlink. It's a genuinely great card no matter how you roll the dice. Discard 1 and get 2. We all know what that is going for. And this deck, of course, is going for Riot Dragon so it can do the combo. This guy particularly is playing 2 copies of it so he can get that in. And naturally, if you're playing it and Borrowlink, then you're probably going to go for Levy. Maybe Blue Eyes so you can get that drop and get the 1 light monster in your graveyard so you can use Levy's effect to destroy 2 cards. So that is definitely something to look at. I'm really interested to see how Konami actually does, manage to hit Dark Fluid. But I think that's probably the best way. Is those 2 spells at 3 and maybe Melody. Which, again, speaking of which, let's talk about Borrowlink, because this deck has been around for quite a while now, and it more than deserves to be changed. It needs to be changed. a lot of interesting cards here. I know a lot of people want to see either Tracer or Quick Launch to go to 3. I don't really know if that's the best choice. I personally was thinking more something like Exploder Rocket Dragon because the skill needs you to have a high level monster in order to activate. So I feel like if you put Exploder Rocket Dragon at 3, then the deck would be able to run that card, or maybe not run Silver and just run one copy of this. But I mean, Silver is really good right now, though. So the deck may be forced to just take out its Levy, or even its Fusion, you know? I mean, we'd see how people played against that, how they put their cards in the deck and everything. If you took away that limit 3 with Exploder Rocket Dragon, so is Exploder Rocket more needed, or is the Fusion more needed, or do you think you'd take a copy of Levy over the others? I mean, that's the question. But if you put Exploder Rocket and Melody both at 3, then I think the deck is probably done. It might go more back into the way it used to be, running off the rocket card, the field spell. I forget the name off the top of my head. But yeah, so back when Rocket basically first came out, it'd be forced to be ran more of a Rocket exclusive, and then maybe going into Boral and Boral Sword. And eventually we'll probably get Savage Low Dragon. So, when that happens, the deck might get another buff with a new skill or something. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if the Synchro, this Savage, was a skill exclusive card or something. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Other than that, I don't really see anything in the deck that could get hit to a limited 2 or a limit 1. If you did hit anything to limit 1, maybe, Auto Rocket, just to keep people from putting in like Econ and stuff, TTH, etc. Treacherous Trap Hole, for those of you who don't know what TTH is. Alright, let's move on to Lyrilusk. Because this is really the big one right here, because this deck just came out, and Konami has a reputation for not hitting decks that just came out. So if anything at all happens to this deck, which I don't expect to be anything more than a slap on the wrist, I think it'll be Wobbler. I expect this card to get hit to 3, possibly 2. They could do Cobalt Spiral to 2, since most people seems to not run this card more than 2 anyway. Just prevent the limit 2s from getting added to the deck, because some decks do run the limit 3 traps and the spell Book of Eclipse, like right here. So if we put Wobbler to limit 3, then that could prevent some of these techs, like Book of Eclipse, for example. They would, of course, still have access to one of the biggest spells in the game right now, though, with Forbidden Droplet. So I actually think that Forbidden Droplet should be put to 3 as well. Considering Konami's recent reputation for putting high-powered traps to limit 3 in the selection boxes, I don't really understand why they let Forbidden Droplet slip through when they put Book of Eclipse on launch at limit 3. I really feel like Forbidden Droplet should also be at limit 3. It is a powerful, powerful spell that can shut a lot of decks down. So, but that's my take on Lyrilusk. Time Thief, I really don't expect anything to happen to Time Thief. This deck is also, of course, just came out. It did good, I think, during the KC Cup. I went up against a few. The ones that I did face, I just got rid of the regulator because I went first and with a one major one, and I got rid of the regulator. And once I got rid of the regulator, they couldn't do anything. They just forfeited. So this deck tends to die a lot to getting rid of regulator. A lot of people tend to forfeit if you get rid of this card. Now, I know there's a play where you can switch your toggle to own, and if you have Adjuster in hand, and you do have regulator, and you bring it out, and you negate it or whatever, so they can't do anything, you can go ahead and special summon Adjuster, and then you can at the very least get a link off. Be that Raider's Knight if you're going second, or maybe like Nightmare if you're going first and you got Effect Veiled or something. So I really don't expect anything to happen to this deck. But if anything at all does happen, I think it would be to prevent Eclipse from being ran in the deck. So you can see right here there's an Eclipse. So hitting like Adjuster to limit 3 because it is an end card. So I could see something like that happening, just so we can cut down like the text and stuff. You probably would run like 2 Adjuster and 1 Eclipse in that case, or your choice of limit 3 spell or trap. I don't expect anything to get hit with a limit 1, but if anything at all did get hit with limit 1, I think it would be Basil Ship. That would, of course, prevent you from playing TTH and Econ, etc. So that's one possibility. Okay, where was I? Sorry about that. So limit 1s, as I was saying, probably either Chrono Recorder or Basil Ship to prevent the limit 1 text, such as Econ or Tetris Trap Hole. Both would be good options. So, okay. Sky Striker. So there's a few different skills here to be used. The main one's been Link Dark Rays for quite a while now, but we do also have the Sky Striker Mobilized Contact. If, and I do mean if, something happens to where we can't play Engage anymore, most likely Sky Striker will go back to playing the Mobilized Contract because you get Engage added to the deck for free. So even if something on this list gets hit, on the standard list, to limit 3 to prevent Engage from being played at 3, like say for example, you limited the Field Spell, because I know some people want the Field Spell limited to 3, because it just provides so much for the deck, especially when you combo it with playing Ray herself and then tributing off the effect. So I mean, there's a lot you can do. The deck's already got its limited 3 and limited 2 with Widow Anchor, and of course 3 being Engage. So if you wanted to cut out a Widow Anchor, maybe you could hit something else to limit 2. But that's at the deck's main play, and I doubt they'll do anything to that. And even if they did, even if they hit Afterburners or Jamming Waves, I'd think that people would just cut that particular card out and still play 2 Widow Anchor, and maybe just play another Vector Blast. And some people play in Metal Flow Fusion so they can shuffle it and draw a card. Pretty smart in my opinion. And this particular person is playing the Psychic Blade, which I think Psychic Blade should be limited to 1, along with the other spell people are using for the OTK. I know it's an Infernoble card. Oh, I hit M. Hold on. Infer. There we go. Not that one. Infernoble Arms. Okay, so Infernoble. There we go. It's this one. Infernoble Arms. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. We'll just call it Claire. Yeah, that's this is the one that lets because you equip it to Hayate. Yeah, this girl. And then she can attack twice. So, and with Dark Rays, that's game. So you go Ray into Hayate, and then equip her with why does it keep doing that? Inferno Arms Haute Claire, I guess is how you pronounce it. I'm just gonna call it Claire. And then she can attack twice, and then it's game. Because she can attack over, so just like Literalist likes to do. Because she'll be over 2,000 at that point. Noticing people playing Sir Karibo to deal with Lyrirusk. Very interesting tech, considering how long Karibo's been out. I mean, this card has literally been around since the beginning of Duel Links. It was in the very first box. So it's always fascinating to see this particular card bounce back up, because it just seems like it is a tech that you want. It is basically the only reason to go into the original box at all, unless you want to play Blue Eyes, so you can get your Ultimate Dragon. But yeah, it's Sir Karibo, dude. Literally won a tournament I watched the other day, where JR was participating. So that was really cool. Sky Striker Queen won. She had this in her deck. It's fascinating. Beautiful to watch. It's a fantastic duel. I don't think Sphere Karibo and I don't think Ray will get hit. I don't really expect much of anything to get hit. I'll be honest with you, I don't even expect Airspace Aerial Zero to get hit. But anything in here does get hit, I think it will be Area Zero. People will still play 2 engage, though. People are going to play 2 engage over Area Zero. They'll be playing Area Zero at 1 and engage at 2 for the consistency. And that's still 3 copies because you can just go into, how you pronounce her name? Kagura, the fire girl. There she is. Yeah, Kaguri. So she just lets you add a spell back and you can play it again. People will be playing 2 engages off of that. I mean, you can't help yourself. It's too good. It's too dang good. I don't think Rose is going to have any kind of impact on the ban list. So we'll see. With her especially. Okay, so that's Sky Strikers. Again, we expect Area Zero to get hit with 3, but that's about it. You might see Second Blade and the Infernoble spell go to 1 copy. And they might put something else at 1 copy to prevent that. And if they do, it'll probably be like Afterburners or something. Or maybe Jamming Waves. Or hell, it might even be Vector Blast. Most people don't play more than 1 copy of this card anyway, so. And that's the kind of card they're most likely going to hit. They might even hit Eagle Booster because, again, most people don't play more than 1 copy of this. So we'll see. All right, let's get back to the thing here. I don't really think Wind Witch is going to get hit at all. Fleur is interesting. The skill might get hit in Fleur because it has allowed for a lot of shenanigans, especially this big boy, right? This has become pretty popular lately. It's a fascinating play. They bring this guy out, and then they link into Pincestag, which allows for piercing damage for whatever monster it's pointing to. So you go into him, and then you go into like Dengarusu or whatever, and then now you're just dealing massive amounts of piercing damage on all these 0 defense cards, or tokens rather. And as I understand it, this card can't be Dark Hold. Let's read them real quick. Must be special summoned from the extra deck by sending 2 level 8 or higher monsters you control to with the same level to the graveyard. 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. And cannot be special summoned by other ways. So it does need to be a tuner and a non-tuner, so that's good. Can't be destroyed by card effects. Gains 1,000 for... Got 1,000 attack for each monster on the field. Which there's going to be 6 of them, 7 counting him. I don't know if he counts himself. Probably, though. So he'd be a 7,000 attack card in that case. Once returned during either player's main phase, you can special summon the same number of... I'm not going to try and pronounce that, tokens. Fiend type, dark, level 1. Attack 0, defense 0. On each player's field and defense position, so as to summon as many as possible. Also, this card cannot attack for the rest of this turn. So that's a good thing, because if it didn't state that last part of the effect, you could just go into Pincestag with your own tokens and equip them to him. And, we're not equipped, but link him to him. And you would have this massive monster that can do piercing damage. So, yeah, good. Of course, he wouldn't be able to do that anyway, because he needs to be in the extra deck zone. So you'd have to summon him on the bottom. Anyway, so as you can see here in this particular deck also, there's really not a lot of Limit 3s being played in the main deck. This particular player is using Dogmacatica Punishment, so there's definitely that. Other than that, we just got Beatrice sitting in here in the extra deck. Looks like the play... Yeah, I'm not really sure what the play is there. Obviously sending Ash Dragon to the graveyard, but most of the time when I see people playing this card, they're playing it with fusions Because when the fossil fusions, because when they go to the graveyard, they can do extra stuff. So, fossil, yeah, the fossil fusions, like was it one of this guy? Yeah, you can banish this card to the graveyard and target one monster from the field and destroy it. And then I think it's this one. No, is it this one? You can banish this card in the graveyard, target one spell or trap on the field, and destroy it. So that's usually what I see when people play in the Dogmatica trap. Um, so I guess, I mean, I'll be honest with you, my knowledge on Dogmatica is not very much. So I'm not going to say too much. But that's what I have seen. And I think it's a very interesting play because you're getting two uses off of that card then. This kind of makes it a +1. So yeah, so this deck, again, as you can see, isn't really playing anything that would be hit, because I mean, you'd have to hit two things in order to prevent something, right? So like, if you wanted to prevent Sage de Fleur from being played, you'd need to hit Sorcerer de Fleur. You need to hit both of them to limit 3 or something like that, right? So if you did that, you'd be playing 2, 1, one or the other. But the deck's already not running any limit 3s or anything. So I mean, other than Beatrice. So if you wanted to prevent Beatrice, you could hit Sage de Fleur to level 3, to limit 3. But they probably wouldn't do that. They'd probably hit Sorcerer de Fleur because it's a rare. Konami's notorious for not hitting its rarities. They always try to hit the rares or normals before they hit a super rare or an ultra rare. With the exception of being high-powered traps, such as Crackdown and Evac, and IDP. And Dogmatica Punishment. Because, there's, like Book of Eclipse, they freaking limited this on launch. But, let Forbidden Droplet be free. I'm really shocked that Forbidden Droplet is free. That is crazy to me. But again, I expect this card to get hit to limit 3. Not really a whole lot else here that I can say with this particular version of the deck. But that's also the problem with the Revolution des Fleurs skill, because you can run it in several different ways. And lately, the level 8 way has been popular for bringing this guy out. But prior, it was the Infernoble Knights. So it's interesting to see how the deck has changed because of the meta, and it's still the same skill. It's still running Surge de Fleur and Sorcerer de Fleur, and of course it still has Necrosynchron, and people do like to run the Glow Up Bulb because you need a level 1. Prior to that, it was Copy Plant, which honestly I'm surprised people took out. Isn't Copy Plant a tuner? Am I wrong about that? And no, he is a tuner. So wouldn't that be a quick and easy way to get out the big guy? Well, whatever. So yeah, we also have the Mech Knight version right here, where purple is already limit 3 anyway. So hopefully they'll free up Mech Knights because they still one of my favorite decks. I kind of expect this dude to get banned, honestly, because that starting up play, if this deck goes first and they get this guy out, it's basically over. There's really not a lot that a lot of decks can do against that. Most people aren't running like Gaia in their extra deck to deal with that beast of a card. Are we forgetting anything? Let's check out the tier list to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So the power rankings. So yeah, there's Infernoble Knight. Still currently sitting at a 9.5. This is basically the other version of the deck that I was talking about. I don't know how this deck did in KC. Obviously, if you see any Revolution de Fleur, then it could be one of these decks, but I don't see any of her on here. So I don't think either one of those decks made it into the tops in either variation. So these Revolution de Fleur may be free anyway. You may not have to worry about that at all. The Sacred Beast is interesting. This deck I actually could see getting hit. If they did, I think it'd probably be Tyrant's Triad. That would be the one that got hit. Probably limit 3. And then maybe hitting one of these two, either Dark Reckoning Beast, Beaconing Beast, or Summoning Beast, Chaos Summoning Beast. So Dark Beaconing or Chaos Summoning, one or the other might get hit to limit 3 or limit 2 or something, and then hitting this to limit 3 or limit 2. Maybe even limit 1. So if you played that to limit 1, would people play it over Econ? Probably. It's a good card. All you do is tribute 2 effect monsters, and then effect monsters, effects of effect monsters that activate on the hand or on the field cannot be activated. So that's a pretty good card. I run 1 copy in my own version of the deck, so I can definitely see that getting hit. Looks like it does have a few KCs on here, so a few of them at least made it past level 1, round 1, because I don't think they've put up any of the top 100 or anything yet. It looks like we do have Crackdown and TTH to be fairly popular in the deck. So might see something get hit L3 to prevent the limit 3 traps and spells. And again, I expect it'd be to Dark Beaconing or Chaos Beaconing or Chaos Summoning Beast that get hit with the L3. And then this probably will get hit with L1. And again, and I cannot stress this enough, I expect Forbidden Droplet to get hit with an L3. So that would also mess with this particular person's deck. So let's go back. Oh, we ain't talked about Star Seraph, have we? So Star Seraph is already running some limit 2 cards and limit 3 cards. This particular person, as you can see, is running Crackdown as well as Eclipse. What I expect is Scale. Scale limit 3 would honestly fix the deck. The skill also needs to be fixed. It needs to be once per duel, not every single dang turn. But yeah, this deck has seen incredible success because of its overpowered skill. And limiting this card to 3 and fixing the skill to where you only do the battle morph 1 time would be perfect for the deck. I don't think it would kill the deck. I think it would still be fine. And I suspect that the deck would still be a top contender. Maybe not tier 1, but I still think it'd still be, probably tiered. Maybe tier 3, it's hard to say. It just depends on how you want to run the deck. Because, if you're not running Eclipse, you could run Book of Moons. There's no limit 1 here, so instead of Crackdown, you could run, Judge or Strap Hole. You still play Needle Sealing, et cetera, et cetera. If not Scale, then I suspect Scepter will get hit with limit 3. If I remember correctly, Scepter was originally hit with limit 3, and they took it off, but they kept the chair sovereignty to limit 2. So, yeah, but I expect Scale to get hit with limit 3. I think the extra deck's fine. I don't expect anything in the extra deck to get hit. But this deck has had multiple tournament tops and did really well in the KC Cup, I believe. It doesn't look like we had anyone playing Star Seraph low make top 12. So that's definitely to be noted. The Ghost Girls are most likely Sky Strikers. So we'll see. They could also be Unchained, but I kind of doubt it. But Unchained is my personal favorite deck. So if Unchained was to get hit, which do we have an Unchained deck here that we can look at? Because I know they've been falling off, which is why I don't expect them to get hit at all. There they are. We have a few, looks like. So if Unchained gets hit, this deck's pretty close to my own. So this one's playing Link Dark Rays, and Dark Rays, of course, is on Ghost Girl. So, yeah, Ghost Girl, Playmaker Nye, and Varus. If anything in this deck gets hit, I suspect it would be Sarma, limit 3. Possibly Reika, limit 3, or Reika limit 3 and Sarma limit 2, something like that. Because I mean, you can play, and I do personally play Sarma at 3, and this card is able to make the grind game insane. So I could definitely see them hitting her to limit 3 or limit 2, to prevent you from playing 3 copies of her, or him, or it, or whatever. Other than that, I don't think anything else really deserves to get hit. I could probably see them putting Unchained Soul to limit 1, or Soul Disaster limit 1. I doubt it'd be both of them. But if they wanted to prevent you from playing any limit 1s like Econ or TTH, again, then I could definitely see them doing that, and I could justify that. I only play 1 copy of Soul Disaster myself, and I wouldn't mind only running 1 copy of Unchained Soul. That'd be fine with that. That's still 2 level 8s, and you can just revive it with Chamber anyway. So I don't expect that to happen, but if they did, I'd be fine with it. But I do think if Unchained does get hit, it would be to prevent like IDP and stuff, or at least prevent you from running 3 copies. So like I personally, if Sarma did get hit with them at 3, I would probably run 2 copies of it and 1 copy of IDP. Right? So that's how that would go. Another card I could see them doing would be Arua. But now I'm just overthinking, so let's move on. Okay. Is there anything else? We got Shark. I didn't see any Sharks in the top 12 here, so I think Shark is fine. But let's go ahead and take a look at it just in case. If anything was to get hit in Shark, it most likely would be left-hand Shark limit 3, or maybe limit 2, because the deck's not even running any limit 3s right now anyway. So, well, this person's running a Crackdown or an Evac, so maybe a few decks are running some limit 3s. But yeah, if anything gets hit, I think it'll be Shark. Maybe a limit 2, maybe a limit 3. It's hard to say, since the deck didn't apparently do that well during KC anyway, or maybe it was just underrepresented. Who's to say? So yeah, Shark might even be worth mentioning. Gaia, I don't expect anything to get hit. Shadal, same thing. I do not expect anything to get hit. So I think we've pretty much covered all the major decks then. Let's see, because we can look at all the limit. You know what? Let's just do it this way. Okay. So we'll go over here and do it like this. Card catalog. We'll go filters. We'll go. Yeah, here we go. So let's take a look at everything that's limited and forbidden. That's a lot of cards, honestly. All right, look, straight up, Salamangreat needs to come off the ban list. All right, this thing's been banned for too long, and they can keep Roar at limit 1, but Roar and Grizel don't need to be at limit 1. They can take one of them off. It don't have to be Grizel, it don't have to be Roar, but whichever one they take off needs to come off. We just don't need that. I think they can take this card off limit 1. The Stellar Wind is good, but I don't think it's worth limit 1. If you take it off the limit 1, it might actually see play. Same thing for Orpheon. They took Orpheon off the limit 1. Suddenly it was being used in Phantom Knights. I was using it myself, and that was our opening play. Without Orpheon, we don't have an opening play. Phantom Knights is not in a good position right now because of that. That needs to go. That limit 1 does not need to be there. All right, they need to take that off, and so we can actually have that card. If they want, they can put it on limit 3, so we can't play with scales, right? So we can't play 3 scales, and we play two. I'm not pronouncing that right. Am I? Whatever. You guys know which ones. It's the Phantom Knight that's limit 3. Anyway, which actually should be on here. Hold on. Because we got all the limit 3s and stuff. So there he is right there. Torn Scales, yeah. So I said it right. It's limit 3 Torn Scales. So if we put Orpheon to limit 3 also, then you can only play the 1 Orpheon and 2 Torn Scales, which I know some people are playing 3. I only have 2. The box was not kind to me and did not give me 3 during Phantom Knight's little reign there. So, but yeah. Levy needs to stay at limit 3, honestly. That card is too dang good, even to this day. I think they could take off Dragon Pit. Yeah, I think Pendulum needs to be freed up so we can run Odd and see Odd get some play in, because he's kind of falling off. Ibley's definitely justified. I don't blame him for that at all. I think Coach King is justified because he can give you a major card advantage. They killed agents. They just straight up murdered agents. They need to free up agents at least a little bit so that deck can actually be played. Same thing for Dark Lord. Like, Ixchel's been on the ban list forever, and now we have Sky Strikers with its crazy immobilized contact, engage, and so we can have engage, but we can't have Ixchel. I mean, make it make sense. I don't understand. Konami just hates Dark Lords. Yeah, that's about it, I think. All right, so let's look at the spells then. Spells and traps. Is there anything here that needs to be talked about? That does not need to be there. I don't know why this card's limit 3. Fright for Patchwork, add 1 edge imp monster and 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. I was like, okay, you know. We have Engage, which is really fucking powerful. And then we have Fright for Patchwork, which I guess is good for Frightfur, but Frightfur itself is not anywhere near the power level of Engage, or just Sky Strikers in general, I should say. I think that limit 3 can go. I think this card can be freed up, and that would make Frightfur a better deck. Same thing for Fusion Deployment. That limit 3 does not need to be there. TG limit removal, I think that limit 3 can go. This needs to stay. All right, we don't need that again. Emergency Teleport can stay. Let's see, is there anything here that doesn't need to be limited? I think that can go. Trickstar Light Stage, I think that can go. Probably get another copy added to the game too would be fine. All right, maybe not 3, but at least 2, right? 1 for 1's good. I don't think the limit 1 on the Phantom Knights rank up magic launch is deserved, honestly. Like, maybe it was for during that little meta, because that was pretty oppressive, but we have significantly more powerful decks now, and I think the Phantom Knights can be freed up so they can actually compete. Limit 1 on Mirror Force is crazy to me. Like, this card is not that good, I'm sorry. Alright, we have significantly better cards. Mirror Force does not need to be limit 1. Track down. I get when they have Iron Scarecrow though, limit 2, because then they hate stall cards. I kind of question the Monster Reborn limit 1. I don't really think that's needed, but I understand why they have it though. Being able to reborn a monster from outer graveyard definitely could be crazy. I think this card can be freed up. Head Judging, I think they can free that up. Ghost Sarcophagus, not really sure how I feel about Ghost Sarcophagus, honestly. Into the Void, I think, can be let go of. I mean, people, if you're going to play Into the Void, you can just play Dark World Duellinks anyway, right? This does not need to be here, alright? Phantasm City, I don't know why they made this limit 3. I don't know how I feel about this card. There's a lot of stuff on the ban list. A lot of stuff I didn't even realize was on the ban list. I think Hatred Aid could be freed up to a limit 1. I think that'd be fair. I think Plus Mines can be freed up. And then we get into some of these other cards, like Tornado. I don't think Tornado needs to be limit 1. I mean, I have 11 copies of this card apparently, but I can only play 1. Magic Scepter actually has um, the power to compete. I mean, it's competing anyway, but if they freed this card up, I think it would be in a better position. I don't think it'd be so overpowered, even with this card freed up, so I don't really know why they have that card limit 1. I mean, yeah, banish, tribute 1 wind spellcaster type monster, then target 1 monster your opponent controls and banish it. So, yeah, it's non-destruction removal, and that's great. But we have IDP at 3. Why is IDP at 3, and this card, which is significantly worse, in my opinion at least, is only at 1? That's really weird to me. Chaos form at 1? I don't know how I feel about that. Dark Lord Contact. Again, all the Dark Lord cards just need to be freed up. I'd be really curious to see how they competed in the current meta if they were all freed up. Desynchro. Don't really know why that's on here. I mean, it's definitely good, but it's not a quick play. I feel like it'd be a lot better if it was a quick play. So, I don't know. Okay. I think I understand the majority of most of these other cards. I mean, we have Book of Eclipse, but, change all attack position monsters to defense position. I don't think this is warranted at limit 1. I also don't know if this is warranted at limit 1. Well, that's about it, I think, guys. Thank you for joining me, and y'all have a great day.